do what I do.
Journalists, but we have to remember that Trump is the guy who ushered in the era of fake news.
Yes, fake news. And he was right. All of y'all are a bunch of fake news. That's why DennisSpurling's channel gets more views than yours. That's what I want you to know. You getting 27,000 views. I'm getting 40,000 damn views, Sonny. That's why, because they see you fake as a $3 bill, Sonny.
He is the guy who ushered in alternative facts. He is the guy who attacked 3 black female journalists. He's the guy.
When did he do that? When did he attack them? Who are you even talking about? Because he asked some tough questions and said your questions goofy and silly. He attack everybody. We like that, Sonny. We like him checking people in the FBI. We like him checking people at the Department of Justice. We like when Donald Trump checks all you folks who have not used to being checked. We like that. He put a big check on your head. We enjoy that. That's entertaining to us. And we appreciate it. We need a president like that.
That revoked Jim Acosta's press credentials for asking him a question. And so I think that this president-elect, I hate to say it, would like nothing more than to have only Fox News cover him, would like nothing more than a state-sponsored media. And I don't think he can be trusted in the way that other presidents can be trusted.
Notice she watching them words, though. She's not calling them all them names that she was calling before.
This is an aberration.
Just get on up out here. Look, now she arguing with her co-host.
People to believe that racism and misogyny, they're just alive and well. I know that as a country, it's very difficult for people to believe that racism and misogyny, they're just alive and well.
We know that. That ain't nothing changed. If you believe that racism and misogyny is alive and well right here in the good old US of A, hit the #1 button. Hell, I'm gonna hit the 1 button with you. Hell yeah, it's here. That was not what this election was about. This election was about food and gas and rent. That's what this election is about, ma'am. Okay.
I think that we don't want to think that about ourselves, our neighbors, our friends.
You don't.
But
you want to think that.
My lived experience tells me that it does still exist.
Yeah, I know
even if your lived experience doesn't tell you that it exists. And the facts support that. I think we have a graph. If
we don't need facts.
There's a clear racial divide in who voted for
Now her point that she's gonna try to make is the fact that more black people voted for Kamala Harris and more white people voted for Donald Trump is indicative of the fact that the white people who voted for Donald Trump are racist and the black people who voted for Kamala Harris aren't racist. But that makes no sense. That assumes that all white people who voted for Donald Trump they voted for it because they're just racist. Well, what about the black people that voted for Donald Trump? He got numbers that are astronomical, okay? He got more votes than any Republican got in the past 60 years. Are you saying the black people are racist? Or are you just making up stuff because your little funky feelings are hurt, Sonny?
Trump, as opposed to who voted for Kamala Harris. It's very clear. It's not only clear by race, but it's also clear by education. And so we don't.
It was a bunch of dumb white people that
for
white people should be mad. All my white followers, y'all should send her a tweet and tell her we are not dumb just because we don't have education, a college degree, just because we didn't finish that liberals arts college like you did. Okay, that doesn't mean we dumb. We voted for gas. We voted for cheap food. Okay, that's what we voted for. We voted to make America do what it's supposed to do because we had some bad drivers in the driver's seat and it ain't been cool. All right.
Harris. It's very clear. It's not only clear by race, but it's also clear by education. And so,
in other words, he's saying dumb white people voted for Trump. That's what she's saying. Smart white people voted for Harris. That's what this woman is saying. Keep listening to this hot mess.
The notion somehow that that is not true. This is by education. Those who attended college voted for her at a higher degree than those that didn't.
But I
and
think
I've
you're
said
missing
that.
his point.
Let me.
And now her co-host tries to step in and say, "Look, that's not true, Sonny." Now listen to what her co-host she tries to out-talk her co-host and talk to co-host.
Just finish. And so I've said that before, and there was so much backlash because I think it's an uncomfortable, inconvenient truth about this country.
But his whole point is they didn't vote for him because of racism and misogyny. They voted for him because they felt like, I think the biggest common denominator.
They voted for him because we want more money in our pockets. Somebody type money in the chat.
In this election is people want a good life and ability to provide for their family.
We want good life and money, okay?
And whether we agree or not with Donald Trump.
See how she started out talking to girl? Look.
Trump's plans.
Black people
they thought that he was
one of the poorest demographics in this country. But
60% of black men are in the middle class. Okay? We are not the poorest in the country. Okay? One of the poorest, it ain't but 3 demographics. White, black, and Hispanic. Asian, kinda. Asians got all the money. Whites are running in behind them. Then you got the blacks and Hispanic. Shout out to Depressed 1177. According to her, the people like her, black and Hispanic men have internalized racism. Yeah, man, thank you so much for being the first person to contribute to the super chat. Good looking out on that. Hopefully we'll get some more. But let's get back to the show.
They voted for Kamala Harris.
But there was a split, and more of them voted for Donald Trump than had historically. I think that there's such a desire. If you really think the vast majority of this country voted because of racism and misogyny, you're missing it. Most of my family, a lot of my family doesn't have.
You are not, you just making up stuff now, Sonny. You're just making up stuff.
College
but
degree.
The stats are the stats.
But that's not, it doesn't say I'm white, I voted for Donald Trump because of racism. That's not what it is.
You're right. It doesn't say I voted for Donald Trump because I'm white and he's white. That's not what it says. Okay? I'm racist and I have to vote for the white person no matter what, even if they're horrible. What about all the people that voted for, I don't know, let's pick a guy, Barack Obama? What about all those white people that voted for him? Did they all of a sudden just turn racist a few years later? Maybe not. I think, again, these folks are trying to save face. They don't know what to do. But what I wanted to point out to you all is that these are the same people who spent years calling Trump a threat to democracy, accusing him of enabling these we'll call them Kizatsis, all right, and perpetuating racism and undermining the very fabric of the country. And yet, okay, and I'm talking about Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough and all these white liberals that had y'all afraid. Shout out to my man, African Diastatic. The View needs to air the Apollo so the Sandman can come out. That's they sure the hell do, man. Thank you so much for being the second person to contribute to the super chat. But again, let's think about this. These folk, when their careers on the line, and I'm talking about these white liberals, specifically Mika Brzezinski and her husband, Joe Scarborough. All right. When their careers and their ratings hit rock bottom, they didn't stand on principle. They didn't stand on business. They didn't double down on their so-called values. They packed their bags and walked into Mar-a-Lago and sat down with the man they call the greatest threat to America. And this is exactly why Malcolm X warned us about, this is what he warned us about. He told us that the white liberals often wear the mask of friendship and allyship, but beneath the mask lies self-interest and opportunism. And he said that the white liberals differ from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful than the conservative. The liberal will try to pose as a friend of the black man or the black woman, as he called the Negro, as a friend, you see? But their goal is the same. And so Scarborough and Brzezinski, who are husband and wife, by the way, their actions reveal the truth in Malcolm X's words for years. These two and the rest of them weaponized Trump's image, as a Nazi, okay? As a Scotsy, I'm gonna just say Scotsy. That's the word, Scotsy, to sell airtime and to galvanize viewers. and to paint themselves as defenders of truth and justice. But when the tide turned, okay, and they found themselves in a sinking ship, they didn't hesitate to kneel before the very man they demonized. And so we need to be clear. They didn't just meet him for coffee or a casual chat. They took their butts down there to his house, okay, a symbol of Trump's wealth and power, to ask for what? A ratings boost, a second chance, mercy, whatever their reason. They actually tell us everything we need to know about their so-called principles. Brother Malcolm warned us that these white liberals would only fight for us when it's convenient for them and when it aligns with their agenda. But when standing with us costs them something, when it puts their status, their money, or their careers at risk, they're going to abandon us without hesitation. Look, Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski's trip to Mar-a-Lago is proof of that. Now, let's put this in context, okay? These same liberals and their networks, MSNBC, CNN, they vilify Black leaders. They've dismissed Black voices, and they've told us how we should feel about oppression.
DennisSpurling podcast, click your mouse pad, yeah, we out back, hit the like, hit subscribe, don't just hate watch, cause we outside, let them hate watch, go and play pop, we just lay back, he don't play that, we don't play back, we don't play back, we go way back. Black men, yeah, we earn something, tune in, gotta learn something, Uncle D podcast, bump it, likes up, hit the sub button. Black men, yeah, we earn something, tune in, gotta learn something, Uncle D podcast, bump it, likes up, hit the sub button. This is DennisSpurling podcast. Don't just hate watch, hit subscribe and let them know we outside. Don't hold hate, donate, super chat, cash app, put something in the collection plate. Church.
I want y'all to make sure y'all hit the #1 button. And we're going to kind of get back to what we like to do over here, man. I need y'all to check in at a certain point when it's time to check in. I need to checking in to start happening again. We got to go ahead and get this algorithm pumping.